Good morning. Hi. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I've been up quite some time. I've been up since around one. I was rewatching Anne's live. I was in and out of sleep. I fell asleep on George's live, and then I watched a little bit of John's live after I woke up from George's live, and I am really shocked when I heard him talking about Renee Good's custody of her kids and all this other stuff that has nothing to do with this woman being murdered. Period. Nothing to do with it. I don't care if she had 15 kids and didn't have custody of any of them. It had nothing to do with her being murdered. Oh, thank you so much. Yes. Um Good morning. Well, the thing is, good morning. Good morning, guys. And my sister sent me some, well, my Tutu sent me some good news. She went to the casino last night and my girl hit that grand over a grand. I am so proud of her. And she was doing a dollar bet. I said, "You go, baby. You go." Um, so let me say good morning. Good morning, Amber. Good morning, Simply Sophie. Marty, good morning, sweetie. Gamecock. Ah, let's see. I don't want to miss any. Gigi May, good morning. Um, Black Cat Music, good morning. I saw your little video. Um, good morning, good morning, good morning. So anyway, um, we're gonna discuss Renee Good. We're gonna look at what a federal judge just put into place this morning. I don't care what side you're on as far as Republican, Democratic, Independent. I don't care. We saw what happened. There is no denying what happened. No denying what happened. Then you shoot a Venezuelan in the leg. And then yesterday, they shot a tear gas can in a car with a bunch of kids, and a baby had to be hospitalized. This is real. Hi, Vault. Good morning. Hi, Sarah motherfucking Z. Hi, Dance You One. Good morning. Good morning. I am shocked when I was listening to. I didn't even finish. I got to where Kendra dropped, and I had had enough. When she dropped, I got to where she dropped. Okay. Um. Can anybody tell me? Does it make a difference if Renee Nicole Good had custody of her kids or not? Does it make a difference? Nope, doesn't. And then when he said that um he said, and that should tell you all you need to know right there. Wait a minute, what? What does having custody of her kids have to do with her being shot in the chest, in the arm, and in the head? So, good morning, Dreamsicle. Sweets and Beyond, good morning. Um, Anne really did it was a great live last night, and I watched this shit. I was cracking up. George and them damn dolls. Oh my God, George. Those he actually did a doll of me. I was hoping that that they were going to show that. What does that have? It has nothing to do with anything. The police record they tried to smear Good what wasn't even real. It said she was born in 1980, but she's 35 years old. They're just making up shit to villainize her. Exactly. Exactly. That's what they're doing. And the propaganda videos and the stuff that's been out. But we have a CNN analyst that analyzes that video from all angles. Okay. If you go on TikTok, you will see the raw footage. That man was never in danger. Oh, I heard him say that the man had internal bleeding. That man never had internal bleeding. Okay. That man was not hit by that car. This is crazy. And they can tell them they have absolute immunity if they want. But if the state decides to press charges, the state will press charges. It has nothing to do with federal. And now they're talking about they're going to send 1,500 troops over to Minneapolis. No, no, that wasn't shown on Ann's at all. They were doing, Ann played the Terry Lynn video when she said, "My broom is broken." And that's the night that George went on her panel. So, no, that was not shown, Sophie. And I don't remember even seeing that. Good morning, my sister. I was just telling them, saw your photo this morning. Congrats. I couldn't grasp what you were saying last night. And when I saw the photo, I was like, oh my God, you go, baby. You go, you go, you go, you go. And that was $1 bet. Congratulations. I played those last week. Yeah, those congratulations. Okay, Sophie. See, I didn't know that. I don't remember ever seeing that on his IG. I remember seeing the ones he did of Jen and Dee. He did one of me. He did one of Terry Lynn. Uh, Mine wasn't bad at all. He did Siwa. I watched the CNN interview this morning by the young man who analyzed the videos. Yes, that's the one I'm going to show, Dreamsicle. Yeah. Yep, that's the one I'm going to show. Good morning, Christoph. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I said I was going to go on my other channel, and I will probably do that when I go live next. But I just wanted to make sure that people knew about the channel, but let it go and was still kind to him. Good morning, Crafting with Amanda. Long time. How are you? So I just couldn't listen anymore. And I'm serious. I hadn't realized that, because I heard him say, "Where did Kendra go?" So then I looked at the screen and she was no longer up there. And to be honest, I don't blame her for dropping. Don't like her, but don't blame her. Okay. Let's take a look at this analysis. And then I can't. But first, we're going to look at what the federal judge had to say this morning, what she put in. I was just listening to this before I came live, and then my sister called me.
Agents have new restrictions on how they can handle crowds and some operations in Minnesota under a new court order. Federal agents and demonstrators have repeatedly faced off since the start of Operation Metro Surge in December. Richard Reeve is live at the Whipple Federal Building tonight to break that ruling down for us, the changes Minnesotans will see, and what's happening there right now, Rich.
Yeah, Callan, still a very busy scene here at the Whipple Building. You might be able to see behind me some Hennepin County sheriff's vehicles. There are also some protesters who are assembling on the sidewalk there. We've seen these clashes before between ICE personnel and some of these protesters. I will say it's kind of quiet here right now, but there's hope in legal circles that perhaps this ruling could make a difference.
With the uptick in the ICE presence in Minnesota, a new federal ruling about federal agents' protocols in the field.
What are your thoughts about this ruling? What's your impression?
I think it lays out some ground rules going forward for ICE to operate within.
The decision by U.S. District Judge Catherine Menendez prohibits federal immigration agents in Minnesota.
Now, when I heard her name was Menendez, I said, oops, oh Lord. Let's hope they don't go try to get her and say she's illegal as well, because she's ruling against them.
Arresting, detaining, or retaliating against peaceful protesters or observers. They also can't use pepper spray or other non-lethal munitions against them.
She just wants to say, here's a clear line. This is what you can do. This is what you can't do. Is that, do you think, what she was trying to do?
These are just some of the
tribal members. Indian tribe members, they locked up in ICE. Well, they detained at ICE. Get the fuck out of here. But I want you to listen to what their guidelines are and what they can and cannot do, which has always been written by their own procedures of operations. They're not even following their own rules.
Foundational and fundamental principles under which any law enforcement operation really needs to abide.
But the injunction goes further. It says federal officers can't stop or detain drivers or passengers in vehicles with no reasonable suspicion that they're forcibly obstructing or interfering with agents.
Reasonable.
That includes those following at a, quote, appropriate distance.
But these are all messy situations.
Former Chief Immigration Court Judge Ryan Woods says he's concerned about clarity.
What does it mean to have a reasonable distance between a protester and an arrest incident? What does it mean to have a reasonable distance between an ICE vehicle and a vehicle that's following it?
And reasonable distance is what it states. 2 car lengths. That's a reasonable distance. 2 car lengths. Hi, Sharori. Good morning and you're welcome. A reasonable distance. 2 car lengths. You know, that's in case there's an emergency stop. That's standard. That is on your driving test. 2 car lengths. Period.
Ruling follows a case filed by 6 Minnesota activist observers, represented by the ACLU. Their argument that government officers are violating the constitutional rights of Twin Cities residents. Hamlin Law School professor Jessica West believes the government will appeal. It says there's an opportunity for Homeland Security as well.
To start to not only train and hand this order out to their officers who are on the ground, but to start to collect information about who's doing what, where, when, and to hold some of those people accountable.
And back here live now, you can see those protesters still assembling on the sidewalk. Now, after that ruling, DHS issued a statement saying the agency was taking appropriate and constitutional measures to uphold the rule of law and protect our officers and the public from dangerous rioters. Now, the judge ordered the federal government to inform all officers about this ruling within the next 72 hours. We did reach out to DHS to see if they would appeal and if they had a plan for spreading this information about this ruling to people in the field, but we have not heard back.
Of course not.
Reporting live, Richard Reeve, 5 Eyewitness News.
Oh, it's cold
Okay,
out
thank
there.
you, Rich.
So that's the one we wanted to take a look at.
I want to bring in California-based attorney.
Let's go to the one where they threw, and then we're going to look at, this is the Minneapolis family where ICE.
Tensions remain high tonight in Minneapolis. And with the city on edge, we are now hearing from a family who claims their baby was hurt when ICE agents threw tear gas into their vehicle.
Let's get more details now. Dick Brennan here with more on that and President Trump's latest message, Dick.
That's right, Jessica and Christine. The family with 6 children say they were just trying to get home, but they got caught in the middle of the chaos. And then they say ICE agents tossed tear gas.
It's like they didn't have no care in the world for us, so.
And the windows was down. You can see my kids in the car. The lights were on.
Sean Jackson still shaken by his family's run-in with ICE agents.
Oh my God!
Jackson,
look at
his
these little
wife,
kids.
and 6 young children were driving home from basketball practice when they found themselves caught between protesters and ICE agents.
They stopped at my car and they proceeded to yell in it and said, "Get out of here!" Well, they used profanity, and my husband screamed and said, "We're trying."
Jackson says the agents released a canister of tear gas under the car.
Within seconds, there was a big boom, and our car was up in the air, and we slammed down, and all of our airbags deployed.
Look at this. 6 kids, 6 little kids in the car. All of the airbags deployed. This is bullshit.
All of our doors locked, and tear gas just started forming. A ball of gas just started forming around the car.
Jackson says she desperately tried to help all of her children out of the car, the last one to be rescued, her 6-month-old baby boy.
And when he came in, he was like lifeless, like it was like foam or bubbles coming out of his mouth. I had to give him mouth-to-mouth and CPR. Couldn't even breathe myself. And all I remember is like between every breath, I was saying, "I'm going to give you every breath I have until you get yours back."
Jackson says total strangers helped them to safety and that now physically they're okay, but they're still traumatized. The Department of Homeland Security issued a statement saying DHS law enforcement never targeted this family or their innocent children.
Really? But you threw a tear gas canister under their car. Okay. What were you trying to do? Why didn't you throw it over the car? If you were trying to get protesters on the other side, why would you throw it under their car with 6 young kids, including a 6-month-old baby. Get the fuck out of here.
Adding, law enforcement followed their training
No, they
and
did
reasonably
not.
deployed crowd control measures. President Trump had threatened to use the Insurrection Act to send in the military to Minneapolis.
Piece of shit.
I don't think there's any reason right now to use it.
Hi, Erica.
But if I needed it, I'd use it.
Bitch, you need to go someplace. You and your whole fucking family.
We should point out that originally the Department of Homeland Security had put out a post suggesting the Jackson parents were agitators who had brought their children into the demonstrations, but DHS has since taken that post
because they know they were trying to get home. They know that can be easily proven. Stop putting out that false fucking propaganda and using all of these fake ass narratives to suit what you wanted to. You know what? You gotta go. You got to go.
Jessica and Christy.
Thank you, Dick.
Okay, let's look at this other. Okay, so this is the one where it's right after it happened. This is bullshit.
He an innocent child. All my kids are innocent. They didn't.
Now you see, they're getting
ask
home.
for this.
Yeah.
So your kids
all over the place. What do you want them to do to get home? Oh shit. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna mute myself. Okay, you guys. Listen.
In the back of this
All
car.
my kids was in the back. My wife was in the front seat. I was pulling off. Yeah, look.
And your windows were down?
Yes.
And then the police.
No, my windows weren't even down. That window was down.
Right.
But I was doing something. I rolled my window down. But look.
So how did the ICE agents get mace into your car?
It was an officer that was standing right here that threw it.
He threw the mace?
Yes, he threw the mace. And I don't know if it came from the bottom, came through the vents, but my car just filled up like it caught on fire.
And your kids?
My kids can't breathe. They're at the hospital.
So your kids are in hospital, and how old are they?
11, 7, 2 4-year-olds, a 2-year-old, and a 6-month-old.
Tonight, immigration.
There's still many questions, outstanding questions about what happened in the critical moments leading up to the killing of Renee Good during a confrontation with ICE officers last week. As additional videos of the shootings continue to surface, the New York Times is out with a very detailed new analysis, syncing up multiple videos from different angles, going frame by frame, and creating really the fullest video image picture of what transpired. Here's a portion of their analysis centering around the position of the officer in relation to Ms. Good's vehicle. This is from the New York Times.
The cell phone is focused squarely on Miss Good. She looks down, shifts into drive, and begins turning to the right, away from the engine. Cut to this high angle and zoom in. We can make out the agent's body and his arm filming. We can also see, at the same time, he's beginning to lift his other arm. On these cameras, we can see what's happening around Agent Ross. The other agent is yelling orders and reaching into Miss Good's SUV. Her front tire spins as she continues turning right. Agent Ross is at least a few feet away from Miss Good's SUV. He does not appear to move out of the way.
And I'm joined now by one of the reporters who worked on that video analysis from the New York Times, Devin Lum. Devin, so that video that we just saw, what is the significance to you in that?
Right, so what we're seeing in that video is the agent who eventually shoots Renee Good moving from his position near his own SUV in front of her vehicle as it's moving. So law enforcement agents are not instructed to do that. They're told the direct opposite.
Oh my God,
because
you
it places
couldn't
them
hear
in
me. I'm
danger.
sorry. I was reading my message. I was saying that the leader of the Proud Boys is an ICE agent. He's an ICE agent. The one that President Trump pardoned. No, I had myself on mute. I was reading my message from my sister, but this whole shit has just fucked me, has just messed me up. It has messed me up. This is ridiculous. And right after they shot Renee Good, they went to a school and was harassing students, trying to get into a school. Get the fuck out of here. Those are not criminals. They're not criminals. They're students. What the fuck's wrong with people?
I mean, what you're saying in the video is that she is turning the wheel
Did you
almost
guys
like a
hear
three-point
everything that
turn.
was
She
being
backed
said in
up
this video?
and now she's
Or do I
turning.
need
Does
to
it
rewind?
indicate in the video that she was? I mean, this is one of the questions. The president said that she ran over the officer. That clearly didn't occur.
She did not run over that officer. That officer was ran over in June. And Christine Nome, whatever her name is, bitch, you need to go too. You sat out there and put out this fucking statement. You went live blaming the driver for her own get the fuck out of here. All that fucking propaganda. No. Stick with the facts. He fucked up. Oh, he was hospitalized. He barely got away with his life. He had internal bleeding. Bullshit. He was never hit. Stop putting out that fucking fake information.
Was she aiming for him? Was she trying to turn away?
Right. So we can see in the video, there's a split second where, the tires of her car are pointed towards the agent, but it's not because she's angling those tires at the agent. It's like you said, she's in the middle of completing a three-point turn. So she was reversing with the wheel turned all the way to the left to flip the front of the car to the right, and was in the process of turning to the right. So if you play the video further, you can see those wheels are moving away from the agent.
There's also the question of, was the agent who killed Miss Good, was he actually hit? That we've seen his cell phone camera video. There seems to be, jostling at the camera, whether that's him, it smashing against the car, I'm not sure. Well, I want to show this other video that's part of your analysis.
This is also the moment many have said looks like Agent Ross getting run over.
He wasn't. Look.
And it does when watched at full speed. But looking more closely, we can see
Okay, so it did freeze here. That's their technical issue, and they're going to fix it.
We had some problem with that. Can we try to re-rack that and play that again? Because that's important.
Me too.
This is also the moment many have said looks like Agent Ross getting run over. And it does when watched at full speed. But looking more closely, we can see in multiple angles that there's a visible gap between the vehicle and his legs, indicating his feet are positioned outside the SUV's path.
So how did he have internal bleeding? That was in June when he was dragged by another car. He should have learned in June not to get in front of another car. That is against their own policies and procedures. You're not supposed to plant yourself in front of a vehicle. Standard procedures. Explain to me, John, how did he have internal bleeding? That's what I don't want to know. How did he have internal bleeding? Fucking propaganda. And Brooke, I'm surprised at you.
The agent's left hand is still against the vehicle and gripping his phone. We see as he fires, it's recording the clouds and the trees overhead. It's not because the agent is knocked to the ground. The other angle shows he's still standing, continuing to maintain his grip on his phone and his gun. And we see a clear and growing gap between his body and the SUV.
Again, how did he have internal bleeding? How was he hit by this vehicle? How was he hit? Tell me that. How was he hit?
fires a second shot.
And that there's 4 shots.
There's three.
Three shots.
Yeah,
okay.
That's correct.
So the second and the third shot, which I think we have a freeze frame maybe of or a re-racking of the second and the third shot. That's from a different angle than the first shot, and
look at his arm in that
is
car.
It directly into the window?
So, we're not able to establish the direct path of each bullet that was shot, but what we can see in the video is by the time that he's firing his second and third shot, there's a clear and growing gap between where he's positioned and where Renee Good has been turning, right? So the first shot looks to be a little bit more directly, potentially through the windshield, but again, we can't establish that through the visuals at this moment. But at the moment of the first shot, he has his hand on the vehicle as it's turning and pushing this direction and is pivoting away, right? And you can really see that pivoting motion when he fires the second and third shot, and that gap continues to grow as she drives past, and it becomes more of a firing towards side.
I want to play another piece of your analysis that shows. Well, let's play this next one.
It's at this point in the cell phone video where it first looks and sounds like the agent's getting knocked violently. On the other camera, we can see what's happening. Here is Agent Ross aiming his Miss Good. And here is his outstretched arm leaning toward her vehicle, which is barely visible behind the Tahoe. His phone, which is gripped in his left hand, flips over when the agent's hand lands on the front of the vehicle. There's an audible thud when it hits. The camera rotates up towards the sky.
He didn't even have him.
Again, while it appears the agent's getting knocked over, we can see that's not the case from the other angle, which shows he's standing with his hand near the headlight, his torso and legs away from the vehicle.
So that knock in the agent's camera, which when you first hear it, it sounds like he's being hit. Yeah. That's actually the phone in his hand making impact with the car.
Yeah, it's really important to acknowledge that the video that came out last Friday from the perspective of the agent was not being recorded by a body camera. It was the cell phone that he was holding in his hand. Right. So when we see some ruffling, some darkness, some shaking, it's not that he's being knocked back. It's that his hand, which is holding the camera, is being moved around by himself as well as the motion of the car. So when we hear a thud and the camera is flipping upward, pretend you're filming, holding a camera like this, and something is coming towards you and you want to put your hand on that thing in front of you. The camera is going to flip up,
was murder.
Right? And so when it makes contact with the car, which is turning and driving, it's going to push back in this direction. So that's what we see when we see, his face and the shift from facing the car to upward. It's not him being knocked over. It's
his
the motion
hand is
of
on the
his
vehicle
camera.
and it moves toward his chest as the car is moving, and but his legs are
yes. So
back.
he's positioned back, kind of leaning forward like this, but his legs are out of the path of the vehicle.
This is
and he's
crazy.
Trained on Renee Good that entire time. If you watch the video, his shooting hand is remarkably stable throughout that entire portion, and even after this contact with his hand, despite being on a slippery road. And making contact with the vehicle, he's still on his feet. Right. He's sliding a little bit, but he hasn't been knocked to the ground. He hasn't lost a grip on his camera, and he has not, stopped aiming directly at Miss Good.
Devin Lum, appreciate it. Thanks very much.
You can find the full video. This video, when they analyzed this video, I was just done. I was like, you've got to stop. Now they have the transcripts.
Lots to discuss with MS Now's Jillian Frankel in Minneapolis. White House reporter Laura Barone Lopez is with us.
Yep,
and Miles Taylor, who was chief of staff
and she
at the
said,
Department
I have
of
no,
Homeland Security in Trump's first
I'm
term.
not mad at you. I
breaking
have no
with the president.
or something like
Jillian, more tense standoffs overnight. How are things there on the ground this morning?
Anna, it's still here early here in Minneapolis, but what I can tell you is we witnessed a chaotic scene play out just last night outside the federal building here in Minneapolis, which also serves as the local ICE headquarters. We were actually commenting on how
those are the ones I was talking about, that they had picked up some tribal members. Is that what you're talking about, Patty? And the tribe started showing up there yesterday. This is crazy.
To be a relatively calm night, but we did see some protesters start interacting with some of the vehicles that were driving into that federal building parking lot facility, banging on the cars as they entered. And after a few moments of that, we saw a massive number of federal agents pouring out of that parking lot, suddenly dispersing the crowd.
Now they don't want you to film. You see this, right?
Shoved our producer out of the way as we were documenting what was going on, and it's just representative of the increasing tensions we're seeing on the ground here. There's this growing sense
in the head, in the shoulder. Look, and he's holding his leg. As soon as he gets,
and in another moment of chaos, that video that you referenced, I want to just show you a little bit of that. And I should note to our viewers, this video is graphic and a bit disturbing. And we should also note, we don't know exactly what happened in the moments leading up to the cell phone footage from January 9th, but in it you can see these agents pinning a man to the ground. There's some local reporting suggesting that prior to that they had pulled him from his vehicle, but in this cell phone video you can hear this woman shouting, trying to intervene to help this man. And as these federal agents have him pinned to the ground, you can see one of those agents appear to knee him.
He kicked him in the head.
It's a very...
He didn't appear to. He didn't. He kicked him in the freaking head.
In the face. It's a very intense moment and just representative of what we're seeing play out here across the city. As we continue to see scenes like that take place, what we're hearing, a concern among officials here is that we're going to see potentially increasing violence as community members continue to clash with these federal agents. Anna?
Miles, that video is really, really tough to watch, seeing that officer kneeing that person in the face.
Thank you for saying that.
Is that approved operating procedures for DHS?
Kicking him.
No, it is absolutely not. And Anna, I can tell you something unequivocally. This administration continues to say they have seen no instances
They've seen it. We're looking at it.
Operating against DHS policy. That means one of two things is true. Either one, they have secretly changed those policies since I was chief of staff at the Department of Homeland Security, or much more likely, they are lying through their teeth.
They're lying through their teeth.
Daily documentation of ICE officers not just violating DHS policy, but violating the law and violating the United States Constitution by engaging in warrantless searches, by asking American citizens to show their papers, by using violent force.
I know what the guy was. He was tussling and they got into a scuffle. I'm trying to see how they're going to explain this one. Christy, no, where you at, girl? I need you to explain this one. Where you at? Where you at? Explain what we just saw.
Ways that a federal police force is not allowed to.
Exactly. He put his hands on the guy's knee, turned around and looked at the person filming, went try to stop him, and then the guys kept kicking him after he got up, after he went to the person filming, trying to get them to stop filming. Film these bitches. Always film these bitches.
In these types of circumstances, this is not a series of one-offs. This now, Anna, has become systemic, and it is being driven by the top because the president himself is saying that he has given total authorization for these individuals, these ICE officers, to use, in his words, whatever means necessary. Yep. And the vice president saying they have absolute immunity. That is the kind of reckless...
They have federal immunity, probably, just like those insurgents that you pardoned, and now most of them are back in prison for child molestation, for attempted murder. Let's keep going, okay? Let's keep going with all of this bullshit and these fake ass narratives that you're throwing out here, okay? Stop it.
Language that is the firing of a rhetorical gun that is causing this situation to get worse. And unfortunately, Anna, I don't think that's accidental.
I like that name. Can I use it? Krusty, no, where you at?
Unrest
Krusty,
so that he can invoke his emergency powers.
Jillian, MS Now is learning new details of Renee Good's death. And the moments that immediately followed through some transcripts of the 911 calls,
see any difference,
the incident reports. What are we learning there?
I don't see any difference, because that's what they were doing then. They were going door to door, pulling people out their house, pulling family and kids, fathers, mothers, grandmothers. They didn't care. If you didn't fit into what they wanted, you had to go. basically is what happened. I'm sorry.
Anna, what's remarkable about this instance of violence is the number of witnesses that were there. We're getting some 60 pages now of these transcripts highlighting the confusion and the tension and the anger of the multiple bystanders that witnessed this, that is now translating on the ground to what we're seeing play out across the city, these clashes between the members of the community and these federal agents who remain here in Minneapolis. Anna?
Miles, according to the incident reports, local law enforcement tried to get ICE to leave the scene after this shooting. One communication says,
how do we know
quote, contact who is in charge of feds and have them leave scene. What does that comms say about lack of coordination and just the dynamics, even at that moment, between these different law enforcement entities?
I need to get coffee.
I mean, Anna, it shows that those local agencies were already worried that ICE itself and ICE's tactics were creating the potential for a public safety nightmare. We're not talking about personal beef between the police department and ICE. We are talking about responsible law enforcement officers who see what the federal agents are doing and say, look, if this continues, this can and will spiral into a bigger public safety crisis. They are creating the conditions that would result in mass conflagration and frustration. So look, you see the local police trying to turn down the temperature. That's the right thing to do in these moments. If I was still at the Department of Homeland Security, my response to Renee Nicole Good's shooting would not have been to accuse her of being a domestic terrorist and to send hundreds more shock troops into the state. It would have been to say, we need to take a beat. Everyone needs to calm down. We're in conversations with the state and the governor, even though they're from a different political party, and we're doing this in the interest of public safety. That's not what you're seeing the administration do, and you are seeing police forces try to make that happen, but the federal government do the opposite.
Yeah, instead, Laura, the president has threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act in Minnesota, which would allow him to deploy armed forces there to conduct local law enforcement matters. What's the latest thinking on the White House or inside the White House on that?
Wait a minute, let's go back and read this.
Well, this is on the White House.
If the corrupt politicians of Minnesota don't obey the law and stop the professional agitators and insurrectionists from attacking the patriots of ICE, get the fuck out of here. Who are only trying to do their job? No, they're not. They're thugs. They're gangsters. I will institute. Who gives a fuck what you do? You done showed your ass. And all these people that sat there and, oh, he's the greatest. You knew this was going to happen. You knew it. We're not going after criminals. We're going after innocent citizens. People that are working, students. You don't give a fuck. Deport your fucking wife. You get the fuck out of here. Shit.
Or inside the White House on that.
Well, this is a threat that the White House it appears prepared to stand behind. It's something that the president, as Miles knows, has wanted to do since his first administration, since 2020 during those George Floyd protests. And this is something that the president and others around him are repeatedly talking about. They continue to use the word insurrection when describing Minneapolis. If anything, they're ramping up their rhetoric. They're not trying to scale back their rhetoric by any means, Anna. And yesterday, Stephen Miller, the president's deputy chief of staff, who is the architect of much of this deportation machine and what we're seeing on the ground in cities like Minneapolis, went on Charlie Kirk's show, the late Charlie Kirk show, and he said, essentially, the word insurrection over and over again. Take a listen.
In Minnesota right now, the insurrectionists have come out of hiding. They're confronting our officers on the street.
Lightning.
They're being arrested.
Put that
this is a national security priority. More arrests of insurrectionists are being made every day, and each of those arrests then provides an opportunity to learn more about the network from a law enforcement and national security standpoint.
So a few things there. Again, the president, one of the president's top advisors,
repeatedly
calling Americans, calling protesters, quote, insurrectionists, right as the president is threatening to invoke this centuries-old law that would allow him to use the military domestically. And also, the administration is just continually talking about this supposed network, a conspiracy network of, quote, terrorists and insurrectionists that they claim are going around the country organizing clashes like this. But of course, when the vice president was recently asked, what network are you talking about? Who's involved in this network? He said, that's something we have to figure out. So they haven't provided any evidence on that, Anna.
Miles, you have said that you have personally heard President Trump on multiple occasions call the Insurrection Act his magical powers. Your experience, did he try to create the circumstances where he could invoke it?
Why don't you blow
your he absolutely did. And he wanted to find any pretext he could. I mean, when we rushed to the White House on the eve of the State of the Union in 2019, because AIDS tipped us off.
The president of the United States is a fucking convicted convict. He is a felon. And this is who we have in office, a fucking felon. A felon. We're the laughing stock. Fucking people.
That the president was going to slip language into the speech to invoke the Insurrection Act. We found a man in the map room who was trying to portray to us that the caravans he saw on television coming towards the southern border were actually a foreign invasion. He was trying to spin that in such a way that he could invoke the act. Now, we enlisted White House counsel and the White House lawyers and the Secretary of State and others in the administration to help us persuade the president to back down, and he did. But since then, Anna, he has been on this quixotic odyssey to try to find the circumstances, and then in the past year to try to foment them. There is no coincidence behind the fact that the administration, starting last June, went into cities that have a long history of protests. Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., Chicago, Portland. This was by design, but unfortunately for them, protesters showed restraint in each of those cities. They did not develop the circumstances to justify the Insurrection Act. People dancing in blow-up frog suits to EDM music outside the facility in Portland didn't look to anyone like an insurrection, so they tried again. And they remembered that in 2020, during the George Floyd protests, things did start to get out of hand in Minnesota, and I don't think there's any coincidence that that's why they sent agents there. It certainly wasn't to investigate kindergartens run by Somali Americans. That doesn't justify 3,000 ICE agents. It was to create circumstances like this, and now they've got them.
American soldiers against their own fucking people. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with this? This whole picture is so fucked up. Now, I do have a clip of the Black Panthers, but it's from another channel. So let's take a look at this. Hold on. Let me stop. Let me stop this right quick. Let me share this with you. I am so freaking disgusted by this whole situation. It's disgusting. It is so disgusting. Let's look at, this is crazy. So this is the Black Panther clip.
I can hold my gun like this. It's the law. Philadelphia Crime Code 6108 says I can hold my long arm in my hand. Just can't hit my finger on the trigger. So don't ask me to do nothing that's against the law. Can I help you? I'm out here minding my business.
I think this is Philadelphia, right?
Because you guys like beating up my teenagers. Somebody sent us a video of y'all beating up a teenager.
Beating up a teenager.
You part of that. It was y'all. It was y'all. You don't like to be labeled in with slave catchers. You shouldn't have taken their vote, sellout. You are a sellout. You wearing their. You are a sellout. You ain't protecting. You got to do whatever they tell you to, including hurt your people. Because you're walking up to me and I don't like you and I don't trust you and I don't got no conversation with you. So unless you're investigating the crime, leave me the alone. I don't care. I got a gun license right here. This is legal. Philadelphia Crime Code 6108. Move your car out of people's way and get the out of my face. Thank you, officer. Have a good day. You have a bad one. Sell out. Out here. You smiling for a sellout? You know where you came from? Slave catchers hired you to help catch their property, which was us. slave catcher patrol is the origin of that crazy. Get out of here. Go where you're needed. We don't need your help. Get out the street. Like your supervisor said, get out the street. Get out the street. Go with him. Go with him. Get out the street. You blocking traffic. Get out the street. Get out the street. Thought you was gonna disarm.
In Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the Black Panthers were present, which led to the cops showing up. The men knew their rights, and we saw a walk-off from the police.
No ICE agent ever run up on me. I guarantee you they won't. I put a hole in their chest the size of a window. Safe line repair, safe line replace. That's what's gonna happen. They touch me. Unarmed woman was killed by ICE. If you think you're about to come and brutalize the people while we're standing here, around and find out. Our interactions with the police and ICE, and we hold them accountable. We hold them accountable. We patrol the community and we hold them accountable. The Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, we're the same Panther Party from back in the day, but we're a little more aggressive now, you dig? Carry bigger guns and we don't take no places where there are a lot of immigrants at. I think that the community around them needs to take special care to them and needs to start escorting them to and from everywhere to make sure that they're safe. Because them ICE agents ain't going to act like that if it's a bunch of people standing outside with assault rifles and shotguns. It's a semi-automatic shotgun.
Oh my God.
That means the shotgun shells that shoot out of a pump, that shoots them rapidly. If you are going to legally arm yourself with something bigger than what they got. Those who serve in the public, they should be fearful of the public. They should be fearful that the public is going to be dissatisfied with their job that they're doing, not feeling like they're tyrants, not feeling like they're bullies because they got guns and body armor and walkie-talkies. That makes them immune to whatever the people will do. I think you want to correct the ideology of the pig and the mentality of the slave catcher. You meet them with equal force. All power to the people. No power to the pig.
Not only that, they were seen at the anti-ICE protests. Now, there will be many libs upset at this.
I was raised to believe that the KKK and the Black Panther Party were equal and opposite entities. And it wasn't until I watched Forrest Gump that I had exposure to what the Black Panther Party might actually be. This is obviously a result of me being a white kid raised in Texas. I literally thought that like Huey Newton was like akin to like the Grand Wizard of the Triple K. Like the benevolent government, took out this threat that was, causing black supremacy. I mean, I'm a young kid. I don't understand that black supremacy doesn't exist, and I'm white, and I'm being told to be scared of these people. This is a condition that you're conditioned to in conservative America. It's early.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, these people. Yep. Minnesota was the wrong state to mess with. We know how to walk on ice, and girl, I saw the video of the guy that was slipping on the ice. He was trying to grab this guy, and everybody was around just making fun of him. And I was trying to find that video again. But we have an attorney that's working with ICE detainees in Minnesota. So let's hear what he has to say. He's a civil rights attorney. And no, it's not Ben Crump, thank God.
Who works alongside renowned civil rights attorney John Burris. His firm is known for taking on high-profile civil rights cases, many involving police misconduct. James, I want to note where you are. You are outside the ICE detention center in Minneapolis. You're currently outside that facility right now, but you've been inside there every single day this week. Can you tell us what you've been doing and how you're trying to help the individuals who have been detained?
Yeah, so what's happening is that I get calls from protesters, people that do ICE Watch. They contact me, and then as soon as possible, after the person gets swept up by ICE, and then I go to the ICE detention center, the Whipple building, and I try to get the person out. First, I try to determine whether or not they're inside the building, and then I also try to file something to slow down the process. That is, two things that I've tried are the request for release, and also petition for habeas corpus.
Okay, I want to get back to the process of all that, what that entails, but I want to know that you've had your own violent confrontation with ICE agents earlier this week. Can you tell us what happened?
Yeah, so you can probably see over my left shoulder here where all the protesters are. When I came 2 days ago, there was a confrontation between the protesters.
So if he came 2 days ago, hold on a second. She said that he had been inside that facility every day for a week. He just said he came 2 days ago. Nope, he is no JFK. Hi, Deborah.
And the ICE officers. So we turned into the parking lot where the guard shack was, and there was about, I would say, between 30 and 50 ICE officers. They raised their guns. And I said, hey, my hands are up. We're just here. We're attorneys. We are here to speak to our clients. And let me pull my my wallet out with my bar card and my license. And then after checking, they let us go on our way. But that was definitely one of those turning points.
Yeah, it had to be terrifying for you and those other attorneys, James. And you mentioned there's a lot of confusion going on inside the detention center. Can you expand on that? When you say confusion, what's going on?
So here's what's happening. There's a lot of people are being swept up. That's first of all. And they're brought to this building at Fort Snelling, which is the Whipple building, right? The ICE detention center. Specifically with reference to U.S. citizens, I've come here. Now, this is like my fourth time that this has happened. I've come here to try to find out their status. And I tell them, hey, I've been hired by whomever to be their attorney. They say, okay, we'll take the name and then we'll go back and talk to them and let them know that you want to see them. We'll ask them if they want to see you. They've come back out and told me that the specific person does not want to see me. Okay. And that's, to me, that's strange because, again, these are the types of people that know, hey, if you get an attorney and somebody comes to see you, you definitely want to see them. So what I suspect is that they're not telling them the full story, or they're kind of confusing the issue with the detainee, and that's something that I'm sort of having a problem with. I also came today with members of the Oglala tribe. There's been 3 members.
Those are the ones that came, the Koala tribe. I couldn't remember the tribe. I couldn't remember the name.
Detained here, and we're having some confusion around trying to locate them as well.
James, you grew up in this city, in Minneapolis, in the neighborhood where a lot of these protests are happening and where Renee Good was fatally killed. You also work in San Francisco, but you were in Minneapolis during the George Floyd protests as well as a trial.
This is sick.
Are the events over the past couple of weeks opening up old wounds for your community? And are you concerned that this violence is only going to escalate?
This is crazy.
Yeah, I would say this. I'd start by saying that, number one, there are parallels between the George Floyd sort of, the May uprising and this particular event, all right? So you got to remember that George Floyd took place during COVID. And it was, it was May, so it was kind of the spring, and it brought a lot of people out.
That we know.
I thought that after the Renee Good shooting, which was a very, kind of similar situation in that somebody who was unarmed didn't necessarily need to be, that it was unnecessary for them to be killed. I thought that it would keep people inside because of the extreme cold weather. That has not been the case. All right. So the uprising has been just as intense, added to the fact that, ICE is driving around the town and sweeping people up. And I think that people are not just out protesting what happened to Renee Good. That is the focal point, but it's also everything else. High prices, high food prices, housing prices.
Yes, they are.
Can't get health care.
This is sad.
Unrest over a lot of issues. Before you go, James, I just want to reference the protesters there behind you. You can hear them getting quite loud. Have you seen the group grow over the past few hours or so?
Yeah, we saw that one.
It's definitely grown. In fact, I don't know that I'm going to necessarily be able to get out here. You can see it over my shoulder here. It's a very large group. I think it'll get bigger because of, if you probably know that there was another shooting last night. I saw you reporting on it right before we came on, and you can hear it in the background. It's reaching a sort of an inflection point. I think that's not going to be the only one today.
James Cook, thank you so much for that insight.
Yep, this is sad. This is what we've come to. Okay. And this one they were talking about, yep, they don't have background checks. Let's take a look at this one. This is DRM News. Oh, hold on. This is sad. This has turned completely, this is all out of control. You said that you were going to remove criminals out of the United States. You should have started with the criminals. How many criminals have they removed out the United States? What? The people that they were putting on these big C-40s or whatever they were. You had some of them that have come back because they weren't illegal. We know that they're, they say they got MS-13, they got the Latin Kings, they have all of this. Why aren't you going after these people? Why aren't you going after these people? Because none of them have jobs, I'm sure. Go check them out. They're probably legal too. This is crazy. Crazy. And when I heard that shit last night about, well, not last night, last night, about how Renee didn't have custody of her other 2 kids. What does that have to do with this woman being murdered? Nothing. Yes, he pardoned a Honduran president who was a convicted drug dealer. But if you go to Venezuela to get this guy because you want that oil, which he's a horrible person as well, but you wouldn't let the Venezuelan refugees come into the country. That makes no sense to me. Guys, I really hate talking politics. I really, really do. But some of this shit just fucks with me. Let's look at McGee real quick.
Compromise the likelihood of a conviction. One thing we can still offer this family is the best possible chance at a conviction and justice for this unspeakable crime.
Thank you for joining
Breaking
us.
news right now at noon. Columbus police are confirming evidence shows Michael McKee was at the Tepe home in Wyland Park before and after Spencer and Monique Tepe were killed. We thank you for joining us for 10 TV News at noon today. I'm Tracy Townsend. Just 30 minutes ago, Columbus Police Chief Elaine Bryant and Mayor Andrew Ginther wrapped up a news conference with some new details about evidence in the Tepe killings. Monique's ex-husband, Michael McKee, is charged with 2 counts of aggravated murder. He was arrested in Rockford, Illinois on Saturday and is in jail now, waiting to be extradited to Columbus. Our team was asking questions at that news conference, pressing police for more information. Stacia Nakin and Carla Rogner are joining us now. We'll start with Stacia. Stacia, what was the biggest takeaway?
Well, at this point, Tracy, the biggest takeaway is that this is still an active investigation because there are so many more questions to be answered in this case. But I want to update you on what we heard and some of the biggest questions that we all still have. As far as a motive, there was no comment from Chief Bryant today because they are still investigating leads and tips at this point. And with McKee's extradition, there is no date set yet. Those logistics are still being worked out even at this hour. But one major development we heard was that investigators took multiple weapons from McKee's residence. One, they say, with a link to the crime scene. Here's what else Chief Bryant had to say about this investigation.
We believe at this point,
I like this woman. I like this woman. But what I was trying to figure out is her number. That's her name. Bryant 5000. This guy is 5002. I was supposed to look up what does this number mean. Does that mean that she's the 5,000 officer? I don't know what those numbers mean. Does anybody know what these numbers mean that live in Ohio or Illinois? Do we know what these numbers mean? Because if you look, he has 5,002. She has 5,000. She's the chief of police. So what does those numbers mean?
Person responsible for the murders of Monique and Spencer Tepe in custody.
I love her hair.
And that person is Michael McKee.
Love the glasses.
This is still an active and ongoing investigation.
Detectives that's just the badge number? I thought it had significance.
We can't speak to all the specific details related to this case, so we don't want to jeopardize the ultimate goal of conviction. But what we can say, this was a targeted attack.
Saying it was a targeted attack and also pointing to the connection to domestic violence. And that is the first time we've heard that in this case from investigators. But so many questions that we had, and Tracy, we asked many questions that Chief Bryant, the other investigators couldn't comment on because there's still so much more left for them to sift through as we figure out what comes next in this case.
Somebody trying to kill you, that should tell you you're
Stacey, we
doing
do
something
appreciate
wrong,
that
right?
update. Of course, this story does seem to have captured the attention of everyone in the community and many across the nation.
Yeah, so he has
saying many people have given them.
I can't anymore. I was trying to see. It was another video that was there about this ICE situation, and I really. Oh, here we go. Good morning, Viper. How are you?
Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
I'm a little teed off again. Good morning.
I can see that, and I wanted to kind of give you a little bit of a military type aspect to this. If you don't know, I was in counterintelligence at Fort Belvoir for years, and we monitored.
I did not know that. I was trying to get my son, one or both of them, because one is a special agent and my other son is active duty, and he's in London. And he said this is something he can't speak on publicly. So I was like,
yeah,
okay,
because he's active.
Yes. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yes. Yeah. One of the side effects of being an active duty person is that you don't have the same rights as a civilian. I don't know if people realize that. You don't have the right to speak out against your government. You don't have a right to criticize your president, et cetera, et cetera. Those are rights you give up to be a soldier, or a contractor even. Mm-hmm. So coming from a counterintelligence standpoint, what I'm seeing is a systematic takeover of American ideologies to fit the narrative of the current leadership. And the reason why I say that is this: and nowhere in history has our director, our leader, summoned every single general to a single location to talk to them. Let me give you some background on what that really was. When Hegseth summoned all of the leaders, all the generals, into a meeting to allegedly talk about health and fitness of soldiers, it wasn't really about that. They were looking for loyalists. They're looking for loyalists because they know at some point they're going to use the military against American citizens, as they already have through the National Guard. Mm-hmm. And the reason why they have to send National Guards from other states is they know that the National Guard, for instance, the National Guard in Minnesota is not going to allow the president or its leadership to dictate to them what their path is. They're going to listen to their governor, and they're going to listen to their local constituents. So in order for the president to assert control in Minnesota, he has to send an outside military force. And that outside military force has to be loyal to the president's agenda. Mm-hmm. The meeting that Hegseth had with leadership was to determine which of those leaders would be loyal to the president. If you look closely at what happened after that meeting, 14 leaders resigned.
Yep.
You got to ask yourself, why was that?
Because they're not loyal to the president and they don't believe in his ideology that he's spewing.
Correct. Mm-hmm. So they need those leaders in place, because you remember the saying somebody said, and they're trying to get them in trouble, but it's not working. When somebody said, "If you're a soldier, don't follow an unlawful order."
Yep, and that's true.
That's a given. That's a given for any uniformed soldier. You don't have to follow a lawful order. But what if that order is being given by a loyalist? It's a lawful order under that.
It's a lawful order, yep.
Guys, yes. So in order for this country to turn its troops against its own people, you have to have the loyalists in place. When the loyalists in place, they're going to put in troops that are loyal to them and such, loyal to the agenda. And those people are still fewer in number than us. So they have to create pockets of instability.
And that's what they're doing. Yep.
Yes. This is the entire, and we've seen this in the intelligence field. We've seen this play out in other countries. We've seen it play out in Australia. We've seen it play out in China. We've seen it play out in Venezuela. We've seen it play out in Cuba. We've seen it play out in Colombia. We've seen it play out in Africa. This is how you subjugate a number that is larger, and in this case, more armed than your force, which statistically speaking, as Americans, we are more armed than our soldiers are per capita. Like for every soldier with a weapon, you have an American citizen that probably has 6 to 10 weapons. So we outnumber them by far. So they can't take the force on directly. So they have to do it through other means. The example being California, the example being Minnesota. These are trial grounds for movements from a regime. Let's just be honest, that's what it is. From a regime that wants to annihilate what America stands for. And as a soldier, as a retiree now, I swore an oath to a constitution that this is in direct violation of what the Constitution represents. Now, they'll use bits and pieces of the Constitution to fit their narrative, but ultimately, at the end of the day, the Trump organization does not support, and hates the Constitution because it limits his ability to do what he wants to do. And that's the very purpose of that document.
Yep. Because I don't know, Viper, but when the election was going on, and Charlotte brought it up, we were going through Project 2025, and everything that was in there is basically what's going on now. But when the president was asked about it, he said he had no idea about it. But everything, look at all the executive orders he signed within 7 days.
They all line up with
Project 2025.
Yes. And the minute that he said he didn't know what Project 2025 was, considering his vice president was one of the co-authors.
Yes, and people that served him. Yep, exactly. Go ahead.
That should have been the red flag right there. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, and I apologize in advance. I voted for Trump in the first election. Did not vote
Why
for Trump.
Why are you apologizing? I don't care who you...
Because, I mean, I'm a Republican through and through. I am 100% a Republican. But I'm a Republican that also has the constitutional values that I was raised with and that I swore an oath to. So I would say I'm more like a conservative Republican, I guess. But in this instance, what we see going on right now, it's the duty of Republicans, as much as people vilify Democrats. It's time that the whole partisan thing is put aside, and you remember the oath that you said, because the Democrat and the Republican swear an oath to the same document. It's the same document.
Same doctrine.
They have different interpretations of it, but it's the same document. And what we have going on right now is a violation of the very values and the core tenets of what America is. People are upset that we have illegal immigrants. I get that. I very much get that. But for 200 plus years,
we've had illegal immigrants.
This country has told immigrants to come here.
Come here. Yes. The land of the free. Yes.
We're better. Come here. We're better. Come here. And now
But Viper, this land isn't this land isn't ours. It was stolen.
It was stolen from natives.
Yeah, it was stolen.
And that's another thing that's happening. We're systematically, not we, but our leadership is systematically destroying or erasing, trying to rewrite the history of what this country was founded by killing its natives. We took it over by killing, blackmailing, maiming, and screwing over its native inhabitants. Okay. And we have an obligation as citizens of this borrowed land to, one, remember our history. It's not meant to be pretty. The history that we have, slavery, murder, death,
supposed to learn from our history.
You are supposed to learn
better.
Now what we're doing is we're repeating, and not only are we repeating our history. I mean, I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember internment camps of Japanese citizens during the Japanese
Well, I remember from reading about them. So yes.
Yeah, George Takei was alive. He talks about that stuff. He sees the same thing I see. This is how it started in Germany, and I did a song about it. I think somewhere, I don't remember, maybe a few days ago.
Can somebody drop Viper's channel? You guys need to check out his channel. It's all inspirational music. It's great. I mean, I love your music.
Thank
I love
you.
it. I really do.
I appreciate it. We are at the very infancy stages of where Germany was when they started their slaughter of Jewish citizens. And for me, that's a problem, because not only these leaders, some of these leaders and their followers, they're denying that the Holocaust ever happened, because if you deny the Holocaust happened, you erase a threat that could raise a flag to the citizens you're trying to do the same thing to.
Exactly.
When I look at the Constitution,
like they do here on YouTube, you know what I mean?
Oh, I 100% know.
Okay.
When I look at the Constitution, it says "we the people," right?
We the people.
That's the first three words. We the people, not we the white people, not we the black people.
It's
not
we the
Christian,
people of the United States of America.
Yes. In order to form a more perfect union.
Yep.
A union is a community of individuals with differing ideas coming together as one to form a more perfect union.
Yep.
This entire country, after it was stolen and raided from its inhabitants. Here's another thing. You know how people say, if you're going to be in America, you're going to speak English. You ever heard that?
Yeah, a lot of times. Yep.
I have a news flash for people. English is not the native language of America.
It's America. It's not.
When you look at the immigrants and the people that came over and took the land, they were Dutch and German and Spanish. They didn't speak English. English is a language adapted from Britain, and we very badly massacre it as American citizens.
Look, I put up the Constitution. Look, I put up that first preamble. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
Now, can you keep that up for me? Can you show me in that opening statement where it says, but not for immigrants?
It doesn't say that anywhere.
Can you show me where it says not for black people?
Doesn't say that anywhere.
How about red people? Is it in there?
Doesn't say that anywhere.
How about yellow people?
Doesn't say it anywhere.
How about only for white people? Is that
doesn't say it anywhere?
That's amazing. It's amazing. This is why this document and why the founders of this country, the founders of this document, let's just say, were so smart and so far ahead of their time. They knew in advance what possibilities could be from aging in a country, because we're still the great experiment, are we not? United States is still the great experiment of democracy, an ongoing experiment. And it's up to its people, its citizens, to ensure that experiment continues. And the only way that continues is by talking, by protesting, and by preparing. Every great nation has come to a crossroads where it faces annihilation. And it's happened through the entire history of life on this planet. From the Aztecs to the Egyptians, to the Mayans, to the Roman Empire, to the German Empire, to the Russian Empire, to the Chinese Empire, to the Japanese Empire, and eventually to us. It will happen. The question is, what side of that history do you want to be on?
I want to stand on the right side of history. I thought by now that we would have been learning from the civil rights movement, from all of this, and we haven't, from the encampments to the enslavements. Even when Queen Victoria went over to Africa, Queen Elizabeth went over and did what she did, and they were hailing her as, no, you enslaved those people all over again. And people don't understand their history.
Slavery in of itself was wrong, and it wasn't just against persons of color. White people were slaves too. People don't understand the actual history of slavery, the actual history of some of these vulgar racist words. Like, people think it's all American. No, these were all being done long before America was a country. And when America became a country, we found it easier to own slaves, to own people.
And they rebelled against freeing the slaves.
Yeah, because that's what was taught to us. Like, people want to talk. I have nothing but respect for Abraham Lincoln. People want to talk about, he was a great emancipator.
I just read about Abraham Lincoln and how he lost his son. And oh my God, I just read all of this stuff.
Did you know originally he did not want to free the slaves? That wasn't his intention.
Nope. It wasn't.
People don't want to know that part of the history because he represents something for the Republican Party, and I get it. The problem is he did what he did in order to save the country, in order to save America,
and was
assassinated to free the slaves, and he was assassinated for it by a Republican.
Thank you.
People don't make the moves because they want to make the moves. They make the moves because it's a necessity. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are at a necessity in our country. And the question is, do you want to stand on your feet alive, representing something that America is not? Or would you rather die on your feet, representing what America is?
I'd rather die on my feet representing what America is.
100%. My wife will not let me take any deployments because I have deployment options that come up for ICE. And I don't take them. Not because my wife doesn't want me to take them. I don't take them because it stands against who I am and what I am. So I don't go to those.
Yeah, I had maybe a couple of weeks back, or maybe 3 weeks, I had a conversation with my son who's now active, still active. And he was saying that he doesn't know if he's going to up his enlistment. Now, and I'm sitting there talking to him. I'm like, you have 2 more years. I said, he goes, yep, he has another year overseas and then he comes back. And then a year after that, he retires.
Yep. And now he'll be on a 5-year. He'll be on a 5-year reactive list.
Yep, and that's like my other son who retired from the Army. He was a warrant officer, and he retired. What is it? Warrant officer 3, whatever the highest one was. I don't know if it was 2, 1, 3. I don't know how that shit works, but he retired in Japan, and his reactivate is up, I think, in June of this year.
Yes,
so
Candy.
So
Candy C with Ann. Well, I'll make your heart happy. They don't want your son because your son has a conscience. They don't want that. They don't want people who are going, I don't know if I want to rejoin because I don't like what's going on. They don't want that.
Yeah. So
yes, Candy with Ann. ICE can be made up of according to a news report I saw recently. I don't know if you've seen this, and you might want to Google it, Heidi. There's a reporter who applied to be an ICE agent as part of her story. And they ended up offering her a job long before she ever went through any of the training.
Because they don't do background checks.
Yeah, they're supposed to. What you're supposed to have is a 45-year background check to be with ICE. 45. When I went for my top secret SCI Gamma clearance, I was 31 years old. And they did a 45-year background check. So before I was even born. So I had to have a background check to the day I was born.
Yep. And even when my son got his job, after he came out the military, he was overseas working with Halliburton. Then he came back and he joined the federal government. after he got his master's degree. Do you know they did a background check on me when my son called me and asked me, you know, for all this stuff? I said, for what? He says, well, they have to do a background check on you. I said, damn, they're going to find these bodies I buried. He goes, Ma, this is not funny. I said, why are they doing my background check? Well,
because they need to know if you. They need to know if you can be compromised.
Yep, all the family members, even his brothers that were active duty, they did a background. I'm like, they're in the mill. They did a full background check,
and they're no joke. They go with badges to your door, and they knock on your door.
Exactly, that's what they do.
Correct, sweet. A lot of ICE agents. You guys remember when Trump, when they during January 6th, when Trump told the Proud Boys, he said. He didn't say stop. He said, stand down, but stand by.
Yep. And do you know the guy? What's the leader of the Proud Boys? I forgot his name. He is an ICE agent.
Yes, he is. And a lot of what ICE is doing is reminiscent of Nazi Germany. It's reminiscent of the Gestapos. It's guys. Hitler summoned his leadership to his room before Germany started their war. Just like we did.
Yep.
He summoned, and a lot of people were dismissed, and a very small handful of close advisors stayed. The people that were dismissed were sympathizers. They sympathized with the Jewish people, and they did not want them because they need people who will act, not think. Somebody asked Candy asked the question. Can you ask Viper what this opinion is on top of the military brass we'll be going through discussing at the moment?
Yeah.
Here's what I think is going to happen. I think that there's going to be probably 2 more weeding out processes with the top brass.
Okay.
2 more. I think there's going to be 2 more, especially when it comes to the commanders in the Pacific and the Atlantic Oceans, because now we have a president who's talking about going to war with Canada, going to war with Greenland, going to war with Venezuela. We're back in Iran or Iraq. I don't know if people realize that. We're over there again.
Yep.
The more divided our military strength is, the easier we will be for attack.
But here's the thing.
We're weakening our alliances.
The president don't have that type of power. They have mechanisms in place. He overstepping. He
shouldn't.
No, yes.
I agree with you. He shouldn't have that power. But Republicans in the Congress and the Senate are rolling over him. In other words, the attack on Venezuela, going to get that guy, kidnapping him, whatever, it doesn't matter what he was.
He tried to pull, he was doing the same thing. He went in there, but instead of going in there to kill him, he's going to hold him hostage. They were doing an Osama bin Laden bullshit.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
So here's my question. If we can do that to a country, what's to stop a country from doing that to us?
Yeah. And
why can't they just come in and take our senators or our congressmen or our president? What if our president's visiting the UK and somebody decides, hey, he's in the UK, let's go get him and we'll hold him? Like, what are we doing? We're setting examples that are not examples of what America is. First of all, you don't go kidnap a dictator to remove him from power while pardoning another dictator for doing the same thing that you're saying this dictator you're removed from power is doing. And then leave the regime in power who are going to just follow in the footsteps of the president that you removed. That dictator did not put those people in positions because they're good people. That dictator put them in position because they are followers of his narrative. The same thing can be said for this country. From the Supreme Court down, those people are not in place because they represent the ideologies of an America that we as Americans believe in. They are tools for a president who honestly believes that he is a king.
He does.
And that nothing applies to him. No laws, no rules, no regulations. The only reason why it's not worse right now is because of that document that we just looked at. The Constitution is holding him up, and even the Supreme Court can't overrule that.
Nope. I just found an article where Enrique says, it was a claim. Like I said, I've read it someplace, so I went to look. And they're saying that he's saying that he denied working for ICE on social media, and that the federal agency confirmed that he is not now, nor has he been employed there. And so they're stating that Enrique Taro, that is a false statement. He does not work for ICE. So that's what he said on his social media. Do we believe that?
No.
Okay.
He 100% works for ICE in some capacity.
Okay. Yep. He's saying that he doesn't. He said while he would be a proud member, that is not the case. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Because most of the people that working for ICE right now, I consider them thugs or gangsters because of what's happening in this country.
Yeah, I put something in the private chat for you. This is the song I wrote regarding this situation.
Oh, my private chat. Oh, Viper, you're going to have to drop it in the chat. My private chat is locked.
I don't think I can put it in your chat. I'm not a
hold on, Viper. Let me give you moderator. A wrench real quick. Hold on. Okay, let me find you. I'm gonna give you a wrench real quick so you can drop it in the
in answer to that question that the lady was asking about the brass. I believe we're going to go through 2 more iterations of weeding out those that are supporting Trump and those that support the Constitution. And once we have that, we're going to see bigger moves coming from the administration, more so on American soil than not. We're going to see more instigations of problems. New York, probably, Pennsylvania, all of the key states that have the voting things.
Yep. So I just gave you a wrench so you can drop it in the chat.
Oh, okay. There. Thank you.
Yeah, I just gave you a wrench so you can drop it in the chat. So, okay, let me see. This is Viper's song.
This is called When the Boots Turn Home, or Face Home.
Okay, hold on a second. It's coming up. Let me share my screen.
And I apologize for tooting my own horn, but this song, folks, you need to listen to this song, man, because this is what's happening right now.
Okay, let's listen to this.
There's a shadow in the land of the free, marching closer, can't you see? Flags still wave, but hearts are cold. History whispers, you've been told.
I really
Lincoln called his boys to ride, to keep a union from suicide. Freedom's price was blood and bone, but the line's now blurred and the fight's at home. When power claims us for our good, remember how the tyrants stood. They said order, they said peace, and built their prisons in the streets. When the boots face home and the guns turn around, when the people
I'm gonna share. You guys follow Angelo, please. Nice, mate. It is so nice to see you.
Land of the free, from Berlin's fire to DC's stone. Never kneel when the boots face home. 9 kids marched with books in hand, while soldiers waited on command. Selma's bridge ran red with pain, but courage walked through blood and rain. We watched the guard protect and harm, freedom balanced on a trembling arm. When justice wears a uniform, pray it don't forget who it swore. When the boots face home and the guns turn round, when the people's cries are the only sound. You can call it law, you can call it peace, but it's changed in the land of the free. From Berlin's fire to DC's stone, never kneel when the boots face home. Streets on fire, the city screamed, dreams went dark where hope once gleamed. They said riot, we said rage, another verse on freedom's page. King was gone, but truth remained. Still they sent the troops again. Same old orders, same old fear, same damn cycle year to year. The refuge and the light, Cuba's shores and LA's flame. Different faces, the same old game. They sell you safety, dress in need, but liberty don't wear jack boots on its feet. You don't have to burn to stand. You just have to raise your hand and say, not this time, not again. You'll never make us fear our friends. When the boots face home and the guns turn around, when the people's cries are the only sound, you can call it law, you can call it peace, but it's chains in the land of the free. From Berlin's fire to DC stone, never kneel when the boots face home. Now they watch you through your phone, tell you what you can't condone, divide your neighbor, feed the hate, marching right through freedom's gate. Flags and slogans, holy cries, wrapped around convenient lies. History ain't a dusty tome, it's a warning carved in stone. Hitler promised safety too, said obey, it's what good men do. He built his power one law at a time, made dissent a traitor's crime. And now we stand where others stood, trading rights for greater good. It starts with fear, ends with moan. The silence when the boots face home. When the boots face home and the guns turn round, when the people's cries are the only sound, you can call it law, you can call it peace, but it's chains in the land of the free. Raise your voice, don't stand alone. The flag still lives when the truth is known. From Berlin's fire to DC stone, never kneel when the boots face home. So teach your children well and clear, freedom fades when ruled by fear. The past is whispering through the loam, stand tall when the boots face home.
Oh my God, Viper.
When the boots face home and the guns turn round, when the people's cries are the only sound, you can call it law, you can call it peace, but it's chains in the land of the free. Raise your voice, don't stand alone. The flag still lives when the truth is known. From Berlin's fire to DC stone, never kneel when the boots face home. So teach your children well and clear, freedom fades when ruled by fear. The past is whispering through the loam, stand tall when the boots face home.
Oh my God, Viper. Thank you. Oh my God.
I wrote that before the ice stuff in Minnesota, but I saw the signs ahead, so I wrote that.
Yes, please share. I'm serious. All of his music, check his channel out. I got introduced to Viper's music when he goes on Flavors, and whenever he uploads a song, I go in and I listen. Oh my God, Viper. And you have gotten, I know you said that you were working on, that you had gotten a contract, or that your music was being premiered somewhere, and I forgot where it was.
It's I got the contract for the books. They're
Okay.
in the Walmarts now. So if you go to Walmart and you type in Angelo Stevens, my book will pop up.
Okay.
But my music is on Spotify. Currently, I have 577 subscribers that listen. I have my number one song, "Sitting in the Same Pew," has over 1 million views.
That one, "Sitting in the Same Pew," Viper.
Yeah.
That song.
That song, yeah, that song hit harder than I thought it would.
Yeah, hold on.
That's a very powerful song. That's because our government is using religion as a war tool as well. I don't know if people see that. They're using God as their.
That's what had me in tears when that was played on Flavors. Sitting in the same pew. Hold on. You did that one about what, 2 months ago?
2 or 3 months ago, yeah, and it hit. I think it was at like 900,000 views last time I looked.
Yeah, wait a minute. Sitting in the same pew. Hold on. Why can I? 1 month ago. Okay, I got to go down. That song, when Flavor played it, everything in me went, oh my God. Here we go. Sitting in the same pew.
You got it?
Okay.
I wrote a sequel to that. It's not as good, but I did write a sequel to that.
Okay.
That was such a good song. I had to write a second one.
Okay. I want you to drop your Spotify link in the chat as well. Okay. Sure. This is Sitting in the Same Pew.
Same pew. Why don't the words roll off our tongues the same? We bow our heads in the same light.
Hi, Katie.
But are our hearts calling the same name?
That is actually me, but not me singing.
Yeah, that's you. That's okay. This is Viper.
Scars, shouting amen in the daylight, then driving home with closed hearts. We talk about grace like rain, but we keep our hands bone dry. Are we here to worship truth, or just let the moment slide? If we're all sitting on the same pew, how come we ain't singing the same song?
Like with this song,
if we're walking toward the same truth, why does the road feel so long? Are we just humming for comfort, or crying out to belong? If we're all sitting on the same pew, how come we ain't singing the same song? One voice rises with fire, another whispers in doubt. One heart prays for mercy, one can't let the hurt out. We read the same red letters, but turn the pages slow. We hear the same old story, but miss the love it shows. The preacher's calling for unity, the choir's lifting high praise, but we're still fighting shadows and keeping love in our cage. We hold the bread and wine like it's just a Sunday rule, but that table's built for sinners, not the self-appointed cool. If we're all sitting on the same pew, how come we ain't singing the same song? If we're walking toward the same truth,
go ahead,
why does the road feel so long? Are we just humming for comfort, or crying out to belong? If we're all sitting on the same pew, how come we ain't singing the same song?
I have tears in my eyes again. Every
We
time
talk about heaven's gates, but we guard our earthly doors. We speak of love as endless, but put limits on the poor. We say, come as you are, but we mean be like us. We've turned this holy a place of mistrust. Maybe the song ain't broken. Maybe it's us out of tune.
I like the beard, but
maybe we've been chasing shadows and missing the silver moon. If we just lean in together, hear the spirit keeping time, we'd find that one lost melody and sing it as our prime. If we're all sitting on the same pew, how come we ain't singing the same song? If we're walking toward the same truth, why's the road feel so long? Are we just coming for comfort or crying out to belong? If we're all sitting on the same pew, how come we ain't singing the same song?
oh my God.
So let the walls come down, let the hearts beat loud and true, let every soul remember what the Savior came to do. We can blend our notes together, let His mercy be our chord, and in the harmony of heaven we'll be singing for the Lord. If we're all sitting on the same pew, and let's start singing the same
You make love
song,
not war.
'cause the truth is in the music, and the love's been here all along. One body, one spirit, one voice loud and strong. If we're all sitting on the same pew, let's start singing the same song.
Viper, thank you. Thank you. I'm telling you, you guys need to subscribe. As you see, I'm subscribed. My bell is on. Please subscribe to Viper. His music is very, very inspirational. And when Flavor played this one, I had chills. I was crying. I was like, oh my God, you are so gifted. Thank you.
You know, I wrote one for Flavor the other day, right?
No, I don't. No, I
Here.
didn't know that.
After I saw her heart and what she did for Karen the other day,
Mhm.
granted it didn't work out, but that's not the point. The point is she led with her heart. So I did a song called Pay It Forward based on the movie Pay It Forward in relation to what she did, because I found it to be very impactful and inspirational.
And I heard it backfired on her. I heard that this morning.
It did, but that's not what it's about. We don't help people because it may or may not backfire.
That's true. We do it at the kindness of our heart and don't expect anything back. And that's the way I've always been. If I do something for you, it's out the kindness of my heart. I don't expect anything back for it. So, and I've always been like that. So when I hear people say I'm a mean girl and all this other bullshit, that really doesn't faze me. It pisses me off because you don't know me, but okay. So, but I appreciate you.
I've come a long way on this platform. I mean, I was a dick for a long time.
Could you tell them your story for because Angelo, you did say that you had an addiction for a long time, correct?
No, not addiction.
Oh.
I'm a survivor of rape and assault against.
That's right. You know, I don't know why I was thinking addiction. I am so sorry. I thought it was addiction.
Nope.
So you were a survivor of rape and assault. Oh my God, Viper.
Yes. Yeah, I grew up in an orphanage in Rhode Island.
Oh my God.
My parents terminated their rights when I was like 1 or 2. And so I spent about 10 years of my life in an orphanage. There weren't too many orphanages left. I don't think there's any left now, but back then there were. And this one was called St. Aloysius. That was my first book is about. It's called Surviving St. Aloysius Home.
I'm going to order that book. I promise you that.
It's a hard read.
It's a hard read. I'm going to order that book, and I'm going to have you back so we can discuss it. I would definitely order that book. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This is the song I just posted here. This is the song I wrote about Minnesota recently. But anyway, so St. Aloysius was an orphanage run by the Catholic Diocese. It destroyed my religion.
I'm Catholic, please. I already know, but these. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead.
It destroyed my faith.
Pedophiles.
Yes, it destroyed my faith. It destroyed my ability to believe in God. I had even in my 30s, I was having this battle with faith, with God, and why He allowed so many bad things to happen to me. And then, you know, I've met people along the way. I've met people that have. I guess you could say buffed my armor. They buffed my armor and showed me that the things that we go through in life, whether we agree or disagree with them, it's really not about God allowing it, but by giving us the ability to overcome adversity and obstacles to make us stronger human beings. We don't get the right to know what God's plan is for us. And that's one of the biggest challenges as a human being for us to give up, the ability to know what our purpose is. We're not meant to know.
We're not meant to know. No, we're not.
We're meant to have faith.
We know that God knows there's a beginning and there's an end for us. We know that.
Yeah. And we don't set our expiration date. God does.
Yep. And hi, Carter. Mari wants to know, can you put your link for your book in the chat, please? You have a Lynch Viper. Drop your link for your book and everything in here. Yeah. You are an inspiration. And I'm telling you, when Flavor introduced you, which I knew when they were talking about Angelo and the lawsuit or whatever, the RO you were trying to get, I didn't realize that Angelo is Viper.
Angelo is Viper, yeah.
I didn't realize that until Flavor had played your, and I was like, oh my God, that's the same guy.
Yes, for 10 years, my wife and I and other survivors have been fighting Rhode Island to change the statute of limitations law. So back when we first realized that what was done to us was illegal, we were already beyond what was at the time a 7-year statute of limitations.
Can I ask you a question? Were you abused by a priest, or what are other
by priests plural and an archbishop and multiple staff members that were hired by the state to work in the housing setting of St. Aloysius. St. Aloysius was an all-inclusive place. So church.
Okay, but they did a big settlement. Why didn't it reach the Vatican? Because they were trying to keep all of this hush hush.
They didn't. No, that one didn't settle.
Okay.
That one, because nobody could sue them because they were beyond the statute of limitations.
Fuck that.
And at the time, in Rhode Island, at the time, you weren't allowed to sue an institution. You could only sue an individual. The institution was covered by a blanketed clause that basically gave it immunity. So like the Boy Scouts of America, Hope, St. Mary's, St. Aloysius, St. Joseph's, they were all protected by an immunity clause that prevented the ability to sue the entity itself. You could only sue the people, and the people were being moved by the Vatican to out of state, or sometimes out of country. So with my story, the reason why I was kind of like a centerfold for St. Aloysius is my wife, my strongest advocate. She basically had me kind of face. She didn't know for years of our marriage what I'd went through, and when she found out, she was so mad. Not at me, she was mad at the places. So we started investigating it, and I ended up having an interview with a legal team that was representing kids, trying to get the laws changed. And after they heard my testimony, they're like, you need to file a report with the state police. So I filed a report with the state police against, at the time, the only person that was still in Rhode Island, Father McIntyre.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah. So Father McIntyre, they ended up
getting a warrant. He's been accused on other cases as well.
Yes, he's dead now.
Yeah, well, I know, but he's been accused on other cases.
Yeah, he has almost 900 charges. So with my testimony, they were able to get a search warrant on his residence. And prior to getting the search warrant served, he fled to Florida. We're talking about just at the beginning of COVID here.
Yeah.
And when they searched his house, which he had lit on fire, they found old reel-to-reel tapes. So back in the day, in the 60s, 70s, 80s, they were recording on reels.
Yep, he was also accused of R-ing a couple of nuns as well.
Yes, yeah, he was very. He's a very. Him and Father Porter were disgusting.
Okay, I never heard of Father Porter, but I'm writing that name down right now. But I know Matt can tell you.
Father Porter ran the campground that kids would go to. Now you got to remember, all of the kids that Father Porter and Father McIntyre dealt with, we were all orphans or wards of the state, so we had no families, at least legally. So they searched his house. They found these reel-to-reels, and in the reel-to-reels were videos of me, along with other kids, and we had to identify ourselves in these videos. And then he ended up dying from COVID, so he couldn't even be extradited back to Rhode Island. And at that time, we've been fighting Rhode Island lawmakers to try to get, not even the lawmakers, the people that donate to the lawmakers. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, I'm looking at the case right now. March 28, 1989. Yep, I'm looking at it right now. St. Aloysius in Reed, children's residing at St. Aloysius Home. I'm looking at it right now on Justia.
And those cases were dismissed because of the statute of limitations.
Oh yeah, we need to do something about this. I'm serious because this is ridiculous.
So the video I think Flavor showed was of one of my testimonies to the state leaders. And in that testimony, because a lot of the reasons people are fighting, they're like, well, we can't put these people in jail. They're 80, 90 plus years old.
No, but we can.
And that's exactly what I said in my testimony. In my testimony, I was like, these people had us in a jail. We were caged victims, is what we were. A buffet of victims for sadists and abusers and molesters, and it was a horrible uplift. And I never really got over it until my wife basically gave me the strength I needed to finish the book and get it published. And once the book was published last year, I had a different change in my outlook, because I used to be I guess people will still say I'm an asshole on this platform. I used to fight people on this platform hard. And I got to a point where I was just like, I'm tired of hurting people, even if they deserve it. I'm tired of hurting people.
You're tired of,
I'd rather find a better way of doing it. And that's when I started writing
your music is inspirational and is leading you back to your faith, or has led you back to your faith. And
it has led me back to my faith.
Yep. And when I heard your wife was when you were on Flavor, and I heard your wife in the background, and I heard the encouragement she had for you, and you said you owed a lot to your wife. And
I owe everything I am to my wife, my God, and my children. They are the best parts of what I am for an existence. And when I leave this world, that is my legacy. Those people are my legacy. My son is by far the sweetest, most forgiving, most loving, most God-fearing, spiritual creature that's ever been created from two people. And if that's all I have left when I leave this world, I did good.
I am so happy to hear, because I don't remember a Flavor. I probably wasn't following her at that time when she played your testimony, but I am. Your case, well, this case is in Justia, and the case number and everything, 556A.2D552. This was in 1989. And and this is why the case, and I'm reading why it was dismissed. There has to be something that you can do. St. Aloysius Home for Boys, which is located. Yep.
That's what we're doing now.
Which is located in the town of Smithfield. It's a private nonprofit residential facility for dependent and neglected children. Have you contacted or have you been able to find your parents?
Yeah, I know who they are. But actually, funny story. I sent my dad the book. I got his address.
Has he responded to you?
No. My family, I guess you could say my family died the day that they terminated their rights.
I don't understand. So you don't know why they terminated their rights?
Oh, I know why. It was a cost thing. My dad was a single man trying to raise 5 kids on his own. My mom took off to California with my twin. My twin is deceased. 2 of my brothers are deceased. 1 brother's still alive. 1 sister's still alive. My mom died. My dad is alive. He remarried. He has new children. So I have half brothers, half sisters. And that's about it. What was that?
Viper, I'm going to ask you. People are asking that you come back to tell your story.
Back to the home and what they did.
Say it. Oh yeah. Say that again. Oh, my wife said to remind you guys. So I'm going to send you. Here's the video of my testimony to the Capitol.
Okay.
To change the law right here. And after this testimony, my wife and I drove to St. Aloysius to see what had become of it, since it was closed down in the 90s. It's reopened for girls now, under the same
people.
Yeah.
Oh my God! So this was testimony you did April 30th of 2024.
Yeah. So update to this is the law passed the Congress and basically it removes statute of limitations against all crimes committed against children before the age of 18. There is no longer going to be a statute of limitations, and it removes the immunity clause from entities, meaning we can go after the Catholic diocese, we can go after the Vatican.
Please do.
Et cetera, et cetera. But it has to pass the Senate next. It took us 10 years to pass Congress. So here's my testimony.
Yeah, I have it. I pulled it up. You need to go. You need to go all the way with this. Do you guys want to see this now, or do you want to wait for later? I'm sure they want to see it now.
I appreciate you giving me the time. I know I kind of derailed your story.
Viper, no.
But this is why I became a soldier. This is why I became a defender of the Constitution. This is why I advocate so hard. This is why I fight. I fight for the voiceless so hard, because I was voiceless. I did not have somebody like me to protect me. And we, as citizens of this world, not just this country, of this world, we need to be that voice. It's hard, but it's powerful. It's meaningful.
Hold on. I just pulled up your testimony. Guys, we're going to listen to this now. I don't want to wait till later. It's not that long, but I want to listen to this, and I want you guys to hear it. If you don't mind, Viper, is that okay?
It's the more the people see this and hear this and share this, the better it is.
Yeah, please share. Please.
60 years ago, it's time for justice. No more hiding behind statute of limitations for institutions that want to house perpetrators, and they're everywhere. They're the schools, they're the Catholic Church, they're the Episcopal Church, they're Boy Scouts
of America too.
They're everywhere.
Everywhere.
Don't kid yourself. This is going on all the time, and I know I'm preaching to the choir in this room, but it's time. The institutions that house the perpetrators are included in this legislation, and it's time for the victims to receive the justice that they've been denied for so long. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairwoman. You distinguished yourself. Any questions for the sponsor? Okay, the first 2 witnesses I'd like to call. 2 dear people that I've gotten to know as a result of the many chapters of this saga. Dr. Hub Brennan and Dr. Ann Hagen Webb. Leprad?
I want to get to your testimony right there. I'm sorry. I want to get to you.
Good. You're on.
Good. I wrote this thing, and then I was listening.
Hold on.
Angelo?
Oh.
Is the red light on?
It is on.
Good. You're on.
Good. I wrote this thing, and then I was listening to everybody talk, and I think it's better to just kind of remember. I grew up in an orphanage called St. Aloysius, for those unfamiliar. I went into state care at 2. I'm 49 today. I spent almost a decade. I hate the term being molested. I was raped.
That's what you are.
Men can get raped, just in case anybody wasn't aware.
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing to admit to as a man, especially talking to other men. It's not easy to admit that, your entire life was stolen from you as a child, your innocence, your ability to experience going outside with your friends and playing kickball or baseball.
Angela, let me stop this for a minute. Let me ask you something. So you know how they say that when people are abused at a young age, they turn around and abuse others. And I get when you saying you were hurting other people, but you never physically harmed or turned that rage into doing to others what was done to you, correct? Oh, Angelo is not here. Oh, hold on a second. I lost him. Angelo, I'm sorry. I didn't know. Angelo, I'm sorry. I didn't know you had dropped. I was so into this. My question to you was, they're always saying that, and this is a saying, that people that were hurt when they were younger, they turn around and do the same. He dropped again. Angelo, what's going on? Okay. Angelo? Hello?
Am I back?
Oh, yes, you're back. So my question to you, Angelo, is, people are always saying that kids that were abused, okay, they turn around and abuse others. I know you were fighting with people in the drama community, but you never turned around and physically hurt any other person, did you?
No. My fighting was limited to online battles.
Okay.
No, I never became your statement is true though. Some of these victims did go on to become predators.
Okay.
And my feeling towards them is the same as any other predator. If anything, they had the biggest chance to be the greatest advocate for people. And instead they chose to become predators themselves. And I don't allow your past of being abused to be an excuse to become a predator. Never will I ever do that. I stand against predators regardless. I feel bad that they were victims, but then they turned around and made victims themselves. So there's no pass for me on that.
No. Okay, good. Let's finish listening to this. And I'm telling you, I like the beard, Angelo. It looks like you're riding off on a Harley Davidson and stuff, but I like the beard.
Yeah, I had the beard rocking that day.
Yeah, I like the beard. Hold on, let's go.
Because I grew up in an orphanage. Didn't get that.
True, Justin.
In the orphanage, part of your punishment, if you didn't do things that you were supposed to do with these pedophiles and predators, was you didn't get fed.
Oh my God.
Or you didn't get to have clothing. This is in Rhode Island, folks.
Oh my God.
Rhode Island. I ran away at 7. Told my social worker when I got picked up by the state police. Said, hey, these people are doing things. I didn't know what it was at 7 years old. I didn't know what it was called.
7 years old.
Didn't have parents. I didn't have allies. And the people that I'm supposed to depend on to protect me weren't there. The orphanage was supposed to protect me. DCF was supposed to protect me. At that time, in those years, CASA was very small and very just getting started. None of those people were there for me. I didn't have that. So, what does the state police do when they pick up a runaway? 7 years old, 8 years old. They take them back to the place they ran away from. I don't even know if I can say names. Father McIntyre was the priest I was taken back to.
Yeah, I dropped names anyway.
You did this
I know.
Yeah. He's just emotionally disturbed. The child doesn't want to be here. To the left of St. Aloysius is a wood line. Down that wood line is an old abandoned well. Father McIntyre's kid took me to that well.
Oh my God.
When the police brought me back. And said that that's where I could disappear.
Oh my God.
7, 8 years old. Of course I'm going to believe.
I wish he's
what the hell am I going to do in a well?
right
I'm going to
now.
die. 49 years old. I've never seen one day of justice. I've never had one person outside of a law firm contact me out of the blue one time, ask me what I wanted. And there's going to be arguers who say that this law is not a good idea. This is not a good idea.
No, it's
What's
a great
the end
idea.
game? The end game, ladies and gentlemen, as parents, my son is back there, my wife is back there, is to make it impossible and downright scary to take advantage of children. And you do that by making it the worst possible punishment you can
Yes.
do. I wouldn't care if Father McIntyre was still alive and 99 years old. I want to see him in prison.
Rotten
That
in
seems
hell.
cruel. I was in prison. Not that kind of prison. I was in prison of people protecting me, but abusing me.
Oh my God.
And I never had justice. And these people sit online now.
Being predators.
They threatened to call one of my representatives here to try to intimidate me from speaking my truth. We have
I
a
want
chance
names.
to make a statement for everybody.
I will put them on
For every
blast
victim,
every time I go live.
for every victim that may come. Because it's not going to stop with us, survivors. But it's certainly going to stop with us warriors. Because we're going to fight until the day we draw our last breath to ensure that these people face justice, and those people that think of doing it afterwards think twice. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you,
Viper,
Angelo.
thank
And thank you for coming.
Stand on your merits, Viper. Stand in what oh my God. I remember, I went to Catholic school. I had priests and nuns and when all of this stuff was coming out about the priests, I was at St. Joan of Arc one time, and one of the priests, one of the little boys were there, and he was saying that was his daddy. That was his daddy. And they said, no, he's called Father. And this little boy said, no, no, that's my daddy. He's married to my mommy. And that was the first thing that clicks in my mind. They were supposed to be living this life of celibacy. They've taken these vows, and you are, not being who you are. And then all the molestation stuff started coming around. They were paying off all of these families, not only the Catholic Church, but the Boy Scouts of America. And they are all predators. They're all predators. And do you realize I used to volunteer for the Boy Scouts and go camping? A lot of the camp leaders were gay, but they were saying, oh, they're gay and they're molesting. Just because someone's gay, don't make them a pedophile or a molester. That pissed me off. You had some of the leaders with wives and children of their own that were molesting these boys and girls.
I forgot to say this part. I'm surprised the wife didn't remind me. So after I gave my testimony to the state police and they did the search and they found that stuff, one of the church representatives with my lawyer on the line called me to get the same testimony. And after I gave them the same testimony, if I remember correctly, what they offered like $250,000. I think it was $250,000 and counseling.
Okay.
If I stopped proceeding with my case and if I stopped testifying, and that included not releasing my book. So I had to do 3 things for the money. And I actually looked at her and she looked at me and we both knew the answer. It wasn't really about the money.
And I was about to say, a lot of people would have taken the money, but you have principles and you're standing in what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah, it's about justice.
I applaud you for that.
There's 477 kids that never got justice. And it's a disservice to them. I'm taking away their story by not telling the story. And I can't do that. I can't be part of the problem. So all of this was the reason why I fought so hard. For those that know me in the drama community, why I fought so hard against people in the drama community, because I thought it was the right thing. I really did think it was the right thing. I really thought I was doing the right thing. And then after I released the book and I let go of a lot of pain, because it was really about letting go pain. I was so angry at the world that I had to let it go. And that releasing that book and getting that book out there helped me heal, and it allowed me to, see a different perspective of what I was doing. I wasn't helping any of these people by being so angry and mean towards those that I perceived to be enemies. So I had to reevaluate. And I had already been writing a lot. So I had a lot of poems, and I was turning those poems into songs, because Sunu gives me the voice I don't have, because Lord knows you don't want me singing the songs. So being able to write them and put instruments to them and line them up in a symphony with choirs, and then listen to the singers and picking the right singer for the song to get the emotion through, that has made my music an extension of me and allowed me to, she's about to say something. What you guys
Well,
say?
and you have to also understand a lot of the survivors are either dead or in prison
because of
because of things that have happened to them back then. I mean, they became addicted to drugs to deal with pain, or alcohol.
Yeah.
Or took their own lives because they couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Angelo, I need to log into my Amazon, because I am an Amazon Prime member, but I'm going to leave this up because I need to be able to order this book. And I loved it, by Mr. Angelo John Stevens.
Thank you. I think there's a little see, there's a sample page.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yes, poems and songs. And it allows me to get my voice out in a way that doesn't compromise being an advocate. Because when I'm fighting with people, I'm not really advocating anymore. I'm just part of the problem now. But the music, especially like sitting in the same pew, the song Boots Turn Home, Spirit War Cry, that's a huge, powerful, like re-getting your spirit back and fighting for faith and fighting for God and understanding. Like all of those songs, they're either journeys that I've gone on, things I've observed, or somebody else's journey that I want to put into words to convey a message. And I enjoy it. I love it.
Guys, if please, if you want to hear I will be ordering this book. And I am an avid reader. I will put this up on my community tab as well. I think we should all come to this calling, because you're calling for justice. And I really would like to see you get the justice that you and all of these kids, the 477 that still haven't received their justice yet, get justice. I am a Catholic, and I'll tell you right now, I've always said that it was Catholics are hypocrites, and the religion is, they preach about drinking and smoking and all of this, but when we have all of these festivals, you have drinking on the Catholic school grounds. There's gambling, there's bingo. And I went to Catholic school, and they always say that Catholic girls always are rebellious. No, because I saw what it was. My mom graduated from Catholic school. My uncles, they all went to Catholic school. So my mom put us all through Catholic school. And it's just, I've always said it. They preach one thing and do another.
And that's the whole emphasis behind sitting in the same pew. It's exactly what you just said. Like, we're sitting here in churches, and our pastors and our preachers and our priests, they're telling their congregation, hey, we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to do this. But at the end of the day, They don't want you broken and weary. They want you like them. They want you to be, and that's not what God is about. God is about sitting with the broken and the sinners, and the worst of us. The worst of us is who God hung out with.
Yeah, my mom's best friend was a nun, and we used to get to school early, so we would go in the convent, right? Imagine my shock when I went into the convent and I saw cases of Falstaff. If you're not from Louisiana, you don't know. And I went and I was talking, and my mom's best friend was my uncle's niece, and I went home and I said, "Oh my God, they have beer in the convent," and my mother is saying, "Well, they're people, but okay." You're telling us about drinking and about gambling. We're playing bingo. You're drinking. You're giving kids wine. I'm just like, okay.
100%.
And this has always been my stance with the Catholic Church. I've never left the faith. I've never left the religion, but I have always spoken out about what I see. And I remember when I went to the church and I wanted to baptize my oldest son. The priest had the nerve to tell me that since I wasn't married in the Catholic Church, God doesn't recognize my marriage. I said, so on that day, and these are my words, I said, so on that day, when you tell us God sees all, God closed his fucking eyes and didn't see me get married. That man looked at me and he told me, I'm going to call your mother. I said, what in the world is my mother going to do to me? I'm a grown ass woman. You're going to tell me, but you're going to baptize my sister's kids who were they were baptized in Louisiana. I was living in Texas, in Houston. I said, but you baptized my sister's kids who were bastards. And I said, it's the same fate. What's the difference? Well, then he tells me it depends on the priest. I said, yeah, okay, bullshit. And I didn't go back to that church anymore for years. That priest pissed me off right there in his office.
You know what I love most about God?
What?
And it took me years to wrap my head around it, is that he loves all of us.
Yep.
Even the people that we hate.
Even the sinners.
Yep. He loves us all.
Yep.
And when I was able to grasp that and truly understand it, I was like, oh my God, pardon the pun. Like, it's really like when people go, why does God let wars happen? God doesn't let wars happen.
God doesn't let wars happen. No.
God gave us freedom of choice.
Free will. Yep.
Our free will is our biggest vice.
And I always say, God knows what's going to happen. He gives you a free will. He probably knows the path you're going to take before you even make the decision, but you have that free will.
Yep.
Now, see, it's Sunday and I'm starting to preach. You see what I'm saying? I'm starting to preach on a Sunday, but I'm telling you, I was raised in the Catholic faith. Yeah. Raised in the Catholic Church, and I have visited other churches. I've watched, most of my dad's side, they're Baptists. Okay. So it's either Catholic or Baptist in my family. And I used to go to the Baptist churches and I'm sitting there going, why are they jumping around screaming? Why are they doing this? And, and I used to remember my uncle was a preacher and, he would, there where God, I said, there where what? There what? And I used to sit there and tease him. My mom would get so mad. I said, why do we got to go there? It's 4.5, 5 hours. I said, Catholic, we're in and out within 30, 45 minutes. We're gone. I'm just like, oh my God, can we just go? But
the great thing about church is people think it has to be a building with a steeple and a bell and a guy standing.
No, you can have church anywhere.
This is church right now. Wherever you praise God,
yes.
Wherever you speak God's name, wherever you are sharing worship and sharing
doesn't have
faith.
To be brick and mortar. And that's what I get. People say, oh, you haven't been. I said, I pray every day. I said, I don't have to be. And I'm going to tell you, when you used to go to confession, you used to have to go to confession, right? And so on Fridays, we would have confession for the school. And then if we didn't go to school on Friday, where you go? So the priest is sitting there and taking your confession. And Father Stein was one of them that would take confessions and he'll get up there in the Pope and one altar and he would basically repeat what he was hearing in the confessional, and everybody know who everybody is, so they know who he was talking about. So again, when I got older and I was going to confession, my my 3, the basics. I lied, I stole, whatever. Even if I took a piece of candy, it wasn't mine. So when I had gone to confession one time in the priest, and that's when they started doing the face-to-face. And I confessed, I think it was that I had premarital sex or something like that. And he started telling me, and I looked at him and I said, you're not God. I said, you're just a man in a robe. I said, how dare you? And I did. And I'm telling you, that priest at that church to this day, if he's alive, still remembers, I can't stand that woman. I can't. You're not God. You're a man. You are a man in a robe. That is it.
He's a facilitator.
Yeah, you're not God. And when I'm sitting there going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And my mom used to get so mad at me. But then there's a Baptist church across the street that my great grandfather helped start. And I would go over there and talk to the pastor over there and tell him how I was aggravated with my priest at the Catholic Church. And he'd be sitting there going, well, how do you have a point there? I would be so pissed off at this man. And if he was leading, and normally at the 7 o'clock mass, he was the priest. I started going to 11 o'clock mass because I didn't want to hear anything he had to say. I didn't like him. It was something about him I just didn't like. And the way he would look at you and look down, who the fuck are you? I did. And then you got to do the face-to-face. There's no more confessionals. It's the face-to-face. No, no. You're not talking to me like that. You're a man. My father didn't talk to me like that. My grandfather doesn't talk to me like that. Who are you to talk to me like that? So that was just me. I've always been rebellious. I've always stood in what I believed in, and that's it. That's it. But I am going to go, Viper. I did not mean to go this long, but guys, I want you to subscribe to Viper's channel. I want you to go in. Buy Viper's book. I'm going to buy this book. Viper, I'm going to buy this book, and I want you to come back anytime you want to come on panel. I'm so happy you asked me to drop the link today. You have really been an inspiration to this chat. You're an inspiration to me. I appreciate your wife. I always hear her in the background, but I want to ask you, is that your wife in the video with you?
In the video for sitting in the same pew?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
She doesn't like being on camera.
Oh my God. She doesn't like being on camera, but she's right there with you and she has your back. And
everybody in the video is AI except me. I'm the real.
Wait a minute. That was AI?
Yeah, that's all AI except for me.
Oh my God, I got to go back and watch that. Viper, someone just said, make love, not war. Just said they just placed an order for your book.
Thank you. So, and if you guys want them autographed, you can email me and send me the book. I'll sign it for you. I have a special stamp and everything that I'll put in it. It'll say from the library of Angelo J. Let me drop my
Oh my God. I want to say thank you, but I need to log into my account, and I'm not going to log in online while I'm live, but I will log into my account. Thank you, Viper. And that's Viper's email. If you guys want to have your book, or if you have any questions for him, I appreciate you being here, and I'm going to let you keep.
Can I promote something? Something real quick?
Yes, go ahead.
I think I got to turn my camera on though. Let me see. Where's my camera? There's my camera button. All right. So this is my newest CD. It's my 3rd CD. It's called "Sitting in the Same Pew." With the artwork was done by my friend Peachy, who's also a YouTube channel, and it's a picture of my logo sitting in a pew, and this has 14 songs on it, including "Sitting in the Same Pew." These are $20, and you can get them autographed and delivered to you, no extra fees, just $20 to PayPal. And if you order a CD, I will give $1 from every CD to Heidi to donate to or keep for herself, whatever she wants to do with it. But this CD has the song "Sitting on the Same Pew" on it, which has almost 1 million views.
Oh my God, yes. Guys, and
you have to email me for this.
You don't have to give me a penny. Don't give me anything. Donate it to kids that are going through. Yes, don't give me a penny of that, honey. No, I won't accept that.
That's for people with CD, if they have CD players.
Yep.
If you don't, you can digitally download it off of Spotify or Amazon. I'm also on Amazon. I'm also on iTunes, Apple Music, everywhere where music is on. Every couple of days, I do a live radio broadcast on my YouTube channel where I play my music through my radio station. My radio station plays 24/7, so you can go and listen anytime.
Oh my God, Viper, I I am so appreciative of you coming on today. And it's Sunday, and it happens to be the Sunday where I discuss a lot of, I used to cover like a lot of these mega churches and stuff that take advantage of people. And I did cover the Boy Scouts lawsuits along with the Mormon church. The Mormon church, the Catholic church, they're all connected to the Boy Scouts of America. They all promote it.
Yep.
And my mom retired from the Boy Scouts of America. Okay. She retired from there. And when I moved to Houston, I started volunteering to do camping with, and at that time, they considered those urban kids, because you have the urban kids and they were donating the uniforms too. And these parents would just drop their kids, to go camping. So I would volunteer to do that. And I would camp probably 4 times during the summer. And these camps were like a week long. They might have a weekend camp during the school year, and then during the summer months, you have week-long camps. Okay, so I would do that, and I would never let my sons or my nephew go camping without me being there because they were Boy Scouts. I would never let them go camping without me being there. And I had a 6-man tent and an 8-man tent. They would be in the 8-man tent, would be 2 or 3 of them, and I was in the 6-man tent. But wherever they went hiking, whatever, I was right there. I lost a toenail one time on the trail. Okay, I stubbed my toe on a rock, but I would go because I didn't want them to go without me being there to chaperone.
That's a great parent, in my opinion.
Yeah, so that's what I did. And I would go, Mom, and they would laugh, but I didn't go camping. I went glamping. I had a portable TV with the batteries. I had a little mini fridge. I had food that I would bring to cook, like steaks and stuff like that. Okay. And then on the third day, my mom and them would come up because they know I need to go get replenishments. Okay. I needed my cigarettes. I glamped. I didn't camp. Okay. I went glamping. And, I had my sleeping bag, my cot, everything. But I was right there. So my sister never worried about her sons going camping, and I was always there. Uh, yeah, no, KK, I'm good, but you need to go back and play. KK, this is Viper. Angelo, his name is Angelo Stevens. He wrote a book about surviving St. AloysiusHome. I really want you to go back and rewind my live and watch the live. So,
and I want to thank you for having me up. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
My wife wanted to say something.
Okay, go ahead. Hello, Miss
Heidi. I want to thank
Stevens.
you for bringing up the topic that you did today with what's happening in our world and in America today, and how bad it is, and how people need to speak up.
Yes, we need to. We all need to speak up and stop, promoting all of these fake narratives and stop. It's right before your eyes. We see what's going on. We see it. Don't try to feed me some BS because I know better. Now and I want to make a point. Someone brought it up in the chat. Republicans and megas are 2 different entities. They are.
Yes, 100% different. MAGA is Make America Great Again.
Yeah.
I'm going to end on that, if you don't mind. MAGA, Make America Great Again. I don't understand what they mean by that.
Neither do I.
I don't think I ever will. I don't know what. I love my country, don't get me wrong. But I don't know what makes us great. What makes us great, in my opinion, is being open, loving all humans. regardless of what they have to offer your country. It's about loving differences, respecting individualities, understanding that we're not meant to be the same person. If everybody was the same person, we would be a very boring country. I
Yes.
want difference. Yeah, I don't want criminals. Yeah, I don't want murderers, but we have our own murderers
We
and
have our
criminals.
own murderers and criminals that are U.S. citizens.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I truly want people to. They want you mad. They want you angry, and they want you fighting from a place of hate. Because if you fight from a place of hate, you are not fighting from a place of logic. And they can't have logical people fighting them, because logical people fighting them, they will lose every single time to logic. They need you mad. They need you angry. They need you to be hateful, because you're easier to control that way. If you
That is
can't
so
see
true.
that, I cannot make it any more clear. Fight with love, fight with passion, fight with conviction, fight with faith.
I just got a message, Viper, and I want you to hear this. The message says, "Holy crap, my pastor pretty much called out the church today. He called them hypocrites. How they cried for Charlie Kirk, but make excuses for the execution of good. Said they were both taken by execution tactics, and how the church is filled with hypocrisy." Quotes James 2:8 and asks if people understand it's all people from womb to the grave, not who has our same values and views. He then warned that we are on our way to destruction under the name of God. I'm speechless and one of the only ones that clap for him. I'm clapping for him. Call them out. Call them all
Beautiful.
the way the fuck out.
And we need more people like that, guys. They want us afraid to speak like that. They want us to be ostracized. They want us to be quiet and closed and kept alone. They need us hidden to perform their agenda. Don't let it happen.
Don't let it happen. Call them out. I don't give a shit. Call them out. And I've always said, if you see something, say something. And all these people that are afraid to speak up because they don't want to know, if you see something, you say something. Period. But I love you guys. You guys
Thank you
have
so
been
much. I
great.
appreciate
No
it.
problem. And tell your wife she got praises. Hold on. I put it up. I don't know if she saw it or not. Let me put it up again.
She saw it. She's got you on a
Okay.
TV screen. She's watching you in the other room on a big ass
Okay.
screen.
Yes. But thank you and your wife. And they're giving blessings to both of you, especially your strong and amazing wife. And Viper, anytime, if I'm speaking on a topic, you have some, anytime, you are more than welcome to come on my panel. And I
Thank you
really,
very
when I
much.
started seeing you coming in the chats, I'm like, okay, there's Viper. I want to say thank you for giving me your time and for taking
Thank
the
you.
time to come up today and to
I
talk with
want to
me.
end it with a peaceful statement. Anybody who thinks Flava failed with her interview with Bombshell, Karen, don't think like that.
No, I don't. I haven't seen it, but I heard it.
What Flava did was correct. It's what I'm talking about. She came from the heart. Okay. Yeah, it
Mhm.
didn't work out. Not everything we do in life is going to work out, folks. That's the whole purpose of faith. Faith is about doing what's right, even when nobody's looking, even when people are against you.
That's true.
It's about doing what's right, even if it fails. It's still about what's doing what's right. So if you go listen to the song "Pay It Forward" on my YouTube channel,
I will listen
that
to it. I
that is
promise.
about
Flavor.
flavor just as much as it's about Heidi, just as much as about you in the side chat, just about me, my wife. This is about what's doing what is right. It's the most powerful thing we have in our arsenal. Do what's
Yep.
right, even when
Do what's
nobody's
right.
looking.
Yep, and that's what I try to do. And sometimes my opinion is not the popular opinion, because people want you to think the way they think and see what they see. But no, I don't do that. I have a mind of my own. I stand for if I say it, I stand in it. I'm not going to back down. I will say it and stand in what I said. Period.
That's why I like you. I love watching your channel. I tune in as much as I can, and every once in a while you have a subject that just for me, hits home and it makes me want to talk. And that's what we're supposed to be about.
Yep. And I want to say thank you to everybody that was even in the chat, people that came in and voiced their opinions. I don't try to stifle anyone. I just ask that you be respectful with what you're saying. That's it. Just be respectful. I don't do the name calling and stuff just because you're not agreeing with what somebody else has to say in the chat. You know, we have to be open-minded and we have to be able to let people voice their opinions, even if it's not the same opinion that we have. Okay. And you know, and I listened to John's, but I couldn't take anymore because it was just propaganda. And I'm not going to listen to it because you're not speaking the truth. You're speaking a false narrative. And I'm not going to sit there and listen to that. So again, I want to say thank you to everybody. I appreciate all of you. And you guys have a great Sunday. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.